Alright, so as we dive closer to the holiday season, we are going to dive into lesson 7-4, which is dividing decimals and numbers with decimals. Again, let's go over compatible numbers one more time. A compatible number are numbers that can easily be computed with mentally. So you can use compatible numbers to divide decimal numbers just as you did with whole numbers. Okay, I want you to take a mental picture of what you see on the screen right now, and this is what you're going to put in your notebook. Remember to use these steps. Move the decimal straight up to the quotient, add the 0 to the end of the dividend, and instead of having a remainder. So what we are working with right now is 364.20 divided by 12. Just like I said, you're going to move your decimal point to your quotient. Okay, and then add the 0 to the end of the dividend instead of having a remainder. So the dividend is this right here, and here is your 0. Okay, so you're going to divide your first two digits into your other first two digits and see if that can fit inside. Can 12 fit into 36? Yes, it can fit in there an even number of times, which is 3. Okay, 3 times 36 is 12. Bring down your answer and then subtract. 36 minus 36 is 0. You want to bring down your 4, and you're going to see, can 12 go into 4? No, so you're going to put 0 as a placeholder. Okay, last time we talked about making sure you do not forget your 0, but make sure you don't forget the 0. Oops, my button's on my face. Okay, go ahead and bring down your 2 next. So can 12 go into 42? Yes, it can go in 3 times. So you're going to do 3 times 12. We just did that earlier up here. So it's going to be 36. Subtract 42 minus 36. You're going to have an answer of 6. The last thing is bring down your last 0. 12 can go into 60 5 times, which is exactly 60. Subtract, and your remainder is going to be 0. When you have a remainder of 0, your quotient is going to be the only part to your answer. You will not have an R equals blah. You will just have your quotient. Okay? So let's move on to the next. Ooh, how did that happen? Oh my Lord. Let's move on to the next slide. If you're still copying down, make sure you pause it so you have time to work. Alright, so here's some notebook examples. As you work these out, guys, please write out all the steps and not just the answer. Because when you come back to look at it, you're going to be like, wait, what the heck was I doing here? Okay, so make sure you write out your work. Kind of to do your notebook, make sure you place the first number in the box and the second number out front. Okay? You have, write it in green, actually let's do black. 97.5 divided by 6. Go ahead and bring your decimal up. Keep it in the same spot. Okay? So look at your first digit. Your 6 is a 1-digit number, so look at your first 1-digit number inside your table. 6 can fit inside of 9. It can fit inside of 9 one time, which will give you 6. 1 times 6 is 6, okay? 9 minus 6 will give you 3. You're going to bring down your second number. Okay, now you have 37. 6 can fit inside of 37 exactly 6 times with 1 left over. So you have 36. 6 times 6 is 36. Subtract your difference. Now you have 1. Bring down your 5. So you have 15. 6 can go into 15. Well, it can go into 18, it can go into 12. So let's do it 6 times 2, which is 12, with 3 is your answer. Now, we can have 3 as a remainder, but we can continue by adding a 0 behind the 5. Okay, it's just like saying 0.50. Let's see if we can take this remainder away. So now we have 30. Can 6 fit inside of 30? Yes. 6 times 5 is 30. And now, since instead of having a remainder of 3, we have a remainder of 0, and we're left just with the quotient. Okay, our answer is 16.25. All right, sorry. And here's what it looks like. Excuse me. On paper, in case my handwriting was a little bit too sloppy, you can go ahead and copy this down. So here are your steps. Make sure you write out your steps and not just the problem. You can bring this problem on the side, put the steps on another side, right beside it if you want to. Just kind of depends on what you like to do, how you like to set things up. So step 1 was, of course, place the decimal point and the quotient above the decimal point in the dividend. All right, and we did that first. Step 2 is, instead of writing a remainder, write a 0 at the end of the dividend as a placeholder and continue dividing. You can keep putting zeros after your last number until you get down to the closest you can get to a 0. Okay, sometimes you're not going to get the 0, but in this instance you will. So it says right here, place the decimal point in the quotient above the decimal point, blah, blah, blah. Divide using the standard method, and there is no remainder, so you do not need to write a 0 placeholder to continue the dividend. So you only need 1 0 placeholder. Okay? So go ahead and write your second problem, and I want you to get one of the teachers to check your answer and see if it is correct. Alright, so work this in your notebook. Find 9.0123 divided by 3. Alright, I'm going to give you a little bit to look this over. Go ahead and pause the video while you find your quotient and see if you can get someone to check your answer. One of the adults, please, not just the neighbor. Okay, here's how that works. So here's the actual answer. 3 can go into 9.0 and 12, thousandths. 3.004 times. So your answer is 3.004. Alright, so whenever you are dividing two numbers that both have decimals in it, you have your divisor and your dividend. Here's what you are going to do. If you have 1 and 2 here on the side, it says you must make the divisor a whole number, moving the decimal to the end of the number, and move the decimal point in the same number of places in the dividend. So since you have 0.5, you're going to move that decimal place after your 5. And not only are you that decimal, you're also going to move the decimal place inside your table. So you have this guy, you're going to move it behind the 2. Alright? Now, here is how that works. When you are multiplying those two, when you're moving your decimal over, you're multiplying your number by a 10. Okay? And whenever you multiply your divisor by a 10th, you're going to move your decimal over behind the 5. You do the same thing on one side that you do on the other side. Otherwise, it's completely wrong math. You're not really doing the same problem. So the goal here is to make both of your numbers larger by multiplying them times a 10. Okay? So 2.25 times 10 will give you 22.5. Okay? So that's what you're doing when you're moving these decimals over. That's how that works. So here's your quotient for the first one, right here, and for your second one. Please copy this down in your notes, and if you want to take another note on how the decimal gets moved over, you can. All right? Let's move on. All right, here's a little review. We can do 9,799 divided by 32. Okay? Solve it, check it, add your last number, check it again. Okay, so right here, we're going to solve part A together, and then on your own, you're going to do part B and C. So part A, our first number is going to go inside of our table. So we have 2, oh man. We have 2.4 divided by 0.3. If we are to multiply both these numbers by 10, you are going to move the decimal place behind your 3 and behind your 4. Okay? Go ahead and move your decimal place above on the number line where it belongs. And then you're going to have a problem with this 24 divided by 3. That is much easier than having to do 0.3 and 2.4. So 3 can go to 24 exactly 8 times, with 24 as your answer and a remainder of 0. So your quotient is going to be an even number of 8. Do B and C, you might get a whole number or you might get a decimal. Alright, so let's move on. Let's move on to the next slide. That's why. I wonder why it didn't change. Okay, here's your answer again. Yeah. So now I want you to find this one on your own. We have 1.2 and 0.005. Your first number is going to be your dividend, and the second one is going to be your divisor. First number is going to be inside your table. Second number is going to be outside your table. Okay, solve this one on your own to see if you get the correct quotient. Please have a teacher check your answer to make sure it's correct. Okay, so before we move on, I want you to copy this question down in your notebook. When you multiply a decimal divisor by a power of 10 to change it to a whole number, why do you need to multiply the dividend by the same power of 10? Do not write one-word answers. Please use a full sentence. Okay, so look at the word problem and make it plain to solve it. Last week, a sixth grade class received $10.32 for aluminum cans they recycled. The scrapyard paid them 48 cents for each pound. How many pounds of aluminum cans did the class recycle? So you know they made $10.32. That is going to be your dividend. $0.48 is going to be your divisor. Alright, go ahead and copy up your no-need plan chart in your notebook. Pause the video if you need to, and then you're going to end up dividing 10.32 divided by 0.48. Oops, there's your answer. So again, I want you to write this down in your notebook and copy down the answer that you think is correct. Make sure you get a teacher or an assistant to check your work before you move on. Alright, so that is all for our notes today. Make sure you look on digit 7-4.